Hey guys, this is Hayden. I wanted to share my top 4 tips for buying an RV from a 7-year salesman. So here we go. Number 1 is budget. You need to get a cash and finance budget. No matter what, you're probably going to pay a little bit more money than you want to, which means you might have to finance. This goes for private sale or for dealership level. At the end of the day, we're all going to have what we want to pay, so you need to do what you want to spend and what you are probably going to have to spend, which would mean the most possible. So take a look at your budget, look at your outgoing money, look at your incoming money, and try to find a number that would be doable both in the comfort level and the uncomfortable level, because I just have seen it so many times. You come in, you think you know exactly what you can get yourself into based on your down payment and your credit, and somehow, even if you go through your own ridiculous private bank that gives you the lowest interest rate in the country, it's always going to be just a little bit more than you were hoping for. There's wants and there's haves, and sometimes you just have to spend a little bit more. So just be ready for that. Next, decide what you want to do, because a lot of times people go into RVs with just this idea that, ooh, these are cool. Let's go see what is cool. Let's go find, these are some really cool ideas. But they don't really go in terms of what they want. And for instance, I have a 34-foot bunkhouse travel trailer, Winnebago Voyage. It's an incredible travel trailer. Beautiful, well constructed. It stays together very well. But at the end of the day, it's not really suited for my needs. I'm a single 35-year-old guy. I like to mountain climb. I like to go on short excursions in the mountains. And a 34-foot travel trailer is more the kind of thing that you're going to take to Patagonia to hook up camping and go fishing while you're hanging out there. It's kind of like a little hotel room. You know, it'd be great if you had 6 kids and they all had baseball tournaments they had to go to, and you could take that trailer instead of using a hotel. It'd be great if you were traveling for work. It'd be great if you like to do very simple camping, like going out to, the North Rim and setting up on some flat level ground and then using ATVs or off-road trucks to get further into the woods. So think about what you want to do. Don't think so much what you want. Don't get, titillated by these incredible features, these wall-mounted televisions, solar packages, off-grid packages, auto leveling, designer countertops. Don't get so seduced by those. Think about what you actually want to do. Number 3, go in with a plan. So this kind of goes in terms with the last point, which was, talk about what you want to do, but really go in with a plan. Not so much what's your plan for getting an RV, what's your plan to do with the RV, what's your plan for shopping for an RV, because everyone wants to shop. Everyone wants to just go look. Let's go to the show. That way we can just look at 1,000 models and see all the models, and we can decide from all these models which one we like. After you see 4 models, you're going to have no idea what you just saw. I've seen people come in with a Harry Potter-sized notebook, and they're just taking notes after notes, so much to the point they're not even looking at the RV. These things are unbelievably complicated. There's so many different floor plans. And yes, every manufacturer is a thief. They steal floor plans from each other, but there are thousands of different styles and formations in an RV. And you start if you're just going to look, next thing you know, you're like, well, what if we got a motorhome? And then we could just drive anywhere. What if we got a B van? Then we could just drive right up to we could stay in the parking lot at Crater Lake and then just walk to the trailhead. Well, what if we got a toy hauler and we could put another trailer inside the toy hauler, and inside that trailer was another toy hauler so we could keep our toy. That way we had 2 houses, 2 campers, so everyone could stay. It's like, for heaven's sakes, figure out what you want to do and then make a plan. We're going to look at this street with these dealerships and see what they have in the kind of RVs that we want. We want a toy hauler. We can pull 7,000 pounds, so it's going to be a relatively small toy hauler. Let's go in. Let's find out what 7,000-pound toy haulers they have. Let's see them. You find anything you like, hey, ask for some information. Ask for some numbers. If you don't, get out of there. Take a card, tell them, hey, if you find anything else that we're looking for, let me know. And then get going. Have a plan. Otherwise, you're going to be so inundated by the unbelievable amount of options, you're going to just throw your hands up and say, maybe RVs aren't for us. Finally, number 4, this would be how to do your research. Stay off the forums. Forums are a frenzy of emotion. It's a whole bunch of people with too much time on their hands sitting around just talking shit. And you can judge this because when you go on a forum, you'll ask a question, hey, what do you guys think of electric fireplaces? The first response is always going to be a jokester. It's always going to be some guy who just hangs out on the forums all day because he's got nothing else to do. And he's going to say something stupid like, why would you want an electric fireplace anyway? There's a furnace that runs off propane. My furnace has propane and 110, and 7 people are going to like his comment and go, you go, Buck. Yeah, Buck knows. Buck has the furnace. He's the furnace firefight man. And you're like, well, I want a furnace, but I just kind of wanted to know what you guys thought of these electric fireplaces. And then the next comment will be like, hey, calm down, Buck. He's just asking a question. And Buck will be like, well, I was just telling him my opinion. I have a right to my opinion. I'm American. Here's my gun. Here's my weed. I'm an American. And it's going to take like 7 comments before you're finally actually going to get an answer. And it's going to be some woman named Judy Spaulding who'll be like, oh, we have an electric fireplace. It's great in places like Arizona where the winter does get a little chilly. And that fireplace is plenty of heat for me and my dog and my kids. But if you're going to go somewhere like Montana in the winter, that fireplace doesn't stand a chance. You're going to need, a real furnace, which is kind of the answer you were looking for. I would stay off forums completely. What you want to look for is reviews. And when I say reviews, I mean like you want to look for 2 things. How many reviews are there and what are the review scores? So like let's say this RV brand like Salem. Let's say you went on a website and there was a 5-star Salem review consensus, but there was only 10 reviews. That means only 10 people went on there and made reviews. 10 reviews. I mean, there's 10 people in any RV office, so any dealership that sold Salems that had 10 salesmen, they could have just made those guys go in and make those reviews. Now, if you go on another website and you see 4 out of 5-star reviews, but there was 997 reviews, that's a dang good score. It's probably not going to be a Salem, but that's a dang good score. So keep an eye on that. Remember, it's quality and quantity when it comes to reviews. Okay, I've got one final bonus tip for you guys just for watching to the end of the video. So this tip is going to be for RV inspectors. Everyone is going to tell you to get an RV inspector on any RV you want to look at. And that's not a bad idea. I mean, obviously, it's always nice to have someone come check out your RV. If you had an uncle or a dad or a brother or someone who really likes to, camp and maybe has a mechanic background, not a bad idea to bring them in, have them look around, make sure everything's where it says it is, look under the hood if it's a motorized, look under the underbelly if it's a pullable. The problem is when it comes to RV inspectors, they're not necessarily bad at what they do or misleading you. It's the fact that there's 2 things. A, they are running a business and they're probably associated with a mobile service company or a service center. So they're going to rack up a giant list, kind of like going for one of those free tire inspections. They're going to rack up a whole list of problems with the unit. That way they can hopefully try and get you to trust them and go to them for the work. The other thing, and I actually have a witness on this, is that an RV inspector isn't always going to test the function, but the presence. What do I mean by this? Let me give you an example. One time I'm hanging out in front of my dealership. I was waiting for my customer to come pick up their RV. I'm just checking a few things. I meet a guy outside who's looking at another RV. I was wondering if he was a customer. He said, no, I'm an RV inspector, third party. I'm here because the customer hired me just to come out and look at this thing. I was like, oh, cool. Hey, what's it like? And we started talking about what it's like to be an inspector. And he started laughing, and he said, a lot of these people think that I test the function on these units, but I test the presence. And he gave me an example. He had a customer who paid for the RV inspection. He came down and he gave it a go. He gave it A+ reviews. He said everything's fine. Next thing you know, she drives down the road, her brakes go out. And she's calling up this RV inspector saying, what the heck? You told me this thing was A+. And he said, look at the fine print. Because under the fine print, he was not testing the function of those brakes. He was testing the presence. To his credit, he can make an argument that, he can't sit there and, drive this thing up all sorts of different terrains and hills and test brakes and everything. That's not part of his contract. That's not what he was offering. He was offering an inspection. Were the brakes there? Were the brakes in functioning order? Apparently that wasn't part of the contract. So my point is, if you are going to get an RV inspector, you either A, need to check the fine print of this contract, or B, forget it and get a warranty or something, because it's not going to be, just because you're getting an RV inspector doesn't mean you are getting a guaranteed assessment of what is going on with this rig. It's just not in the contract. It's just not how they do business. Some RV inspectors are going to be better than others. Some go above and beyond. But other guys they're running a business here, and they got to get as many RVs inspected as possible, before tax season. So those are my 4+1 bonus tips. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you ever have any other questions about RVs. I'll probably do more video of these in the future. Thank you so much.